Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar about the Aggie Jumpstart program, our newest program in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. We're going to go and get ahead and get started here. We have a lot of content to share with you. I want to let you know about all of the components of Aggie Jumpstart and send you away so you'll be ready to apply if you feel like this is a great program you want to join. As we're going, if any questions or answers come up, make sure you're using the chat, and we'll also have some other instructions for you about how to get your questions answered. So before we start, or as we start, we'd like to begin first by acknowledging the land upon which UC Davis sits, and where we are, where you will be in the fall. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that this land, the land on which we are gathered, for thousands of years, this land has been the home of Patwin people. Today, there are 3 federally recognized Patwin tribes: Cachildehe Band of Wintun Indians of the Calusa Indian Community, Quetzaldehe Wintun Nation, and Yochadehe Wintun Nation. The Patwin people have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. It has been cherished and protected as elders have instructed the young through generations. We are honored and grateful to be here today on their traditional lands.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Anderson. I'm one of the advisors and coordinators for Aggie Jumpstart. To start off, I want to give a quick overview of the webinar, talking about what we'll be talking about, as well as also how to use Zoom. So today we'll talk about giving you an overview of the Aggie Jumpstart program. We'll discuss the program benefits and outcomes that we found from students who participate in Aggie Jumpstart. We'll talk about the different components that students participate in if they're a member of Aggie Jumpstart. We'll get some student experiences from Aggie Jumpstart current students and alumni. Go over what you should do next if you want to join Aggie Jumpstart, and then have a question and answer session at the end. Now, if you haven't used Zoom before, if you haven't used the Q&A function, at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see a Q&A button. You are welcome to submit questions at any point in the webinar, but know that at the end of the webinar, we will save time to answer questions that you submit with that Q&A function. As you go through, you are welcome to submit general questions that you have about the program, but there are going to be a number of speakers today. So if there's a speaker that you want to ask a question of specifically, I'm putting the names of all the speakers in the chat now, along with, in parentheses, their role within Aggie Jumpstart. And you can just put @ and then the person's name, and then your question, and they'll respond to your question specifically. So if you want to ask me a question, for example, you would just put @Greg, and then whatever your question is. So what is Aggie Jumpstart overall? Aggie Jumpstart is a program specifically meant to support first-generation students at UC Davis in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. Through a variety of events and resources, Aggie Jumpstart students gain personal, academic, and professional skills and experiences to excel and enjoy life as an Aggie. So we offer opportunities to build community with both other students and staff. Students receive free professional development opportunities, leadership, and community service opportunities. It's a great way to meet peers as well as campus partners with a goal of retention within college, academic and professional success, and community.
Great, thank you, Greg. So my name is Marinka Swift. My pronouns are she, her, or they, and I am the Aggie Jumpstart coordinator. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to talk to you now about additional benefits and outcomes for Aggie Jumpstart. Aggie Jumpstart is now in its 2nd year. We're really excited to begin our 3rd year with you, hopefully. And so far, we've learned really great things about the benefits and the outcomes for students who participate in Aggie Jumpstart. Greg just shared with you the program components. And what we've learned is that through Aggie Jumpstart, Overall, student participants demonstrate a higher average GPA increase than their non-Aggie Jumpstart peers from similar backgrounds in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. We are seeing higher graduation rates, especially for our transfer students, an increased sense of belonging and community support, meaningful mentorship relationships that students develop not only with our College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences Dean's Office advisors, but also our career discovery group's TA mentors. Students also gain increased understanding of campus resources and events, opportunities to get involved, build connections, and also opportunities to prepare for their future careers. And these are just some of the benefits and the measurable outcomes that we can share with you as a part of Aggie Jumpstart. So one component of Aggie Jumpstart that students really enjoy and that we have continued to see is super beneficial for Aggie Jumpstart participants, not only in their first year, but as they continue as Aggies, is Aggie Jumpstart advising. And today we have Lily Bynes, an academic advisor for Aggie Jumpstart and for the Dean's Office in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, who's going to share with you a little bit more about advising.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for that introduction, Rink. I'm so excited to have everybody here with us today. And I get the privilege of speaking on behalf of Honora Knopp and myself. My name is Lily Bynes. I use she, her pronouns. I'm one of the advisors in the Dean's Office. I represent, many advisors in our office, but for Aggie Jumpstart participants, you will be working directly with Honora and myself. Now, although you may be assigned to one of us based on, kind of just the archaic, just last name, alphabetical order kind of a thing, although you'll be assigned to one of us, you're always welcome to meet with either one of us throughout the academic year for this first year program. So one of the things that I want to give you is just a little bit of like some of the nuts and bolts is that we're going to be meeting with you at least twice per quarter. And why we want to meet with you is because as academic advisors, we always have timely information based on when we have those advising appointments with you that we want to share with you. And I always start off those appointments asking our Aggie Jumpstart student, do you have any questions that you have for me today? And we make sure that we cover those. But if students don't have questions, that's okay, because as an advisor, we always have something to share with you because the quarter system moves fast. There's a lot of resources at the university, and we want to make sure that we are getting you connected with all of those things. So I keep looking down at my little jotted notes here. I want to make sure that I give you all of the information that I was super excited to share with you today. So Honora and I are going to give you access to priority appointments on our calendars specifically. And I can tell you that anecdotally, we're also giving priority appointments to our Aggie Jumpstart alumni. So even after your first year, we want to continue to be a resource for you and be easily accessible for you through the completion of your degree if possible. But you're always welcome after your first year to engage with all of our advising staff in the Dean's Office. Our advising approach is that we want to know your story. We are an open book to you and want to share our story with you as well, so that you can learn through getting to know us and encouraging you to network with other professional staff on campus, as well as peer advisors and faculty. Our advising approach is also, very much of a mentorship as well as an advising relationship. So as a mentor or, as your Aggie Jumpstart advisor, we are going to challenge you sometimes to stretch outside of your comfort zone. We're going to challenge you sometimes to ask the uncomfortable questions. And we're hoping that you will lean into those learning experiences so that we can support you through your particular goals as they continue to evolve and that you experience the things at UC Davis. So we also plan on connecting you to our campus network through the referrals and warm handoffs via email or phone call, or literally once we're back in person, walking you over to meet with a campus colleague so that you can start building your Aggie family, because that's where what we think is really important and part of a critical piece of Aggie Jumpstart is you getting connected to the campus resources through advising and partnership. So we hope that you're going to ask us questions. We are going to share information with you. We want you to bring your authenticity. And sometimes that means saying, I just don't know what I don't know. You know, having been first generation myself, sometimes it was actually just a hurdle just to ask the question or to say, I don't even know how office hours works. I don't know how to study in the university setting. And Honora and I hope that we can give you that brave space so that you can bring all of yourself into our advising appointments. And so we really want to open our doors for you to come as you are. And we are not going to pass judgment on you, on your goals, on where you come from, on where you want to go. And we hope to be able to provide you that support every quarter through an academic advising lens, and to be able to be available for you through drop-in as well as pre-scheduled appointments. So that's all that I had. I think I'm going to pass it off to Lynn Fowler. And then if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat.
Hi all. For some reason, I can't share my video. So Marinka, if you want to give me access, that would be awesome. But otherwise, I'll just start going. So hello, everyone. And thank you so much for being here. My name is Lynn Fowler, and I'm a senior career advisor in the Internship and Career Center. So I work a lot with career development and advising. And CDG is a collaboration class that works with the College of Ag and Environmental Sciences, along with Internship and Career Center. There I am. Hi. It's a year-long program. So CDG is a course, and it's part of Aggie Jumpstart. And it's a required part, but we think it's really, really important. In that class, you have a small cohort, a group of 25 students that you get to be with all year long. And you get a graduate student mentor. And mentorship is really key as far as just helping you connect and meet your individual goals. So those are some big components of the program. And we're gonna pretty soon have a few students talk to you about it. But let's go on to talk about what does that look like? Because I just said it's a year-long course. So here's what it kind of breaks down as. In the fall, the focus is on building relationships and connecting with the UC Davis community. It's a 1-unit pass, no pass course. It's 50 minutes either on Monday or Tuesday evenings from 5:10 to 6. And you work with your mentor and you're in your small cohort to connect to campus resources, understand how UC Davis works, and assess some of your skills. We do some really cool inventories to start getting a sense of your own values, skills, and interests. And a lot of the folks you see on this call will come into the class too, and talk with you more and connect with you. So that's the first quarter. Second quarter is focused more and a little bit more in depth on your career development or your career exploration. And it's a 3-unit GE class. And what happens in that one is you meet with me and Dan Potter, our faculty director, on Tuesdays, and then you meet with your mentor group and your ongoing cohort on Thursdays. And in the Tuesday classes with me, you actually get to be a part of all the CDG classes. There's actually 11 sections altogether. So you get exposed to an even bigger group. And we do things like tailoring your resume, cover letter, interviewing, like telling your story, and how to find opportunities, internships, volunteer, whatever you're looking for. We focus on professional access. So we bring in professionals for you to meet with and ask questions. And we also focus on your research and presentation skills. You have a lot of voice and choice in the class. You pick what you want to research as far as a career, and then present at that to our campus community at the end of the quarter. finally, spring quarter, it goes back to 1 unit, pass, no pass, and it's really focused on experiential education, field trips that are focused on what you might be interested in. And you get to go with any mentor. Some of the ones in the past have included going to Yosemite for the weekend and meeting with park staff, park rangers. And some are day long, where you might do a day in the life of an equine veterinarian, or go to the state capitol and meet with senators for the day. It really depends on your own career or personal interests. So that's kind of the course of the year. And we see this as a really integral part of the Aggie Jumpstart program. It really aligned, all the goals are to get you connected to campus, to develop your skills so that you get the next opportunities that you want. And those mentoring relationships go on and on. As Lily was mentioning, the relationships get established this first year, but it's certainly not the end of those. A lot of folks stay in touch with their mentors on many, many, many years into their careers. So with that, I will leave it there, but we'll definitely have time for questions at the end. And really nice to have you all here today. Thanks. And I think I'm handing it back to Marinka.
Yes, thank you, Lynn. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for all of those really, really valuable details about CDG. And that's just skimming the surface of all of the things that students take away from the CDG course. And who better to tell you about their experiences with CDG than Aggie Jumpstart students. So we are now going to hear from Stephanie Vazquez, an Aggie Jumpstart student, who will share with you about her experience. Go ahead, Stephanie, whenever you're ready, and I'll make sure that your camera is on so folks can.
Hi, I also seem to not have access to turn on my camera, so if we can get that sorted, but I'll just start while that's getting ready. So hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Vazquez. I'm a freshman majoring in animal science with an interest in animal behavior or conservation. And I think the best part of being in Aggie Jumpstart are the career discovery group courses and the one-on-one advising. In terms of professional development, the career okay. All right, there we are. The career discovery group course has done wonders for my confidence. I was previously terrible at cold emailing people. I would spend more time than needed rewriting a 2-sentence email to professors. But in the course, we actually practiced, like Lynn said, networking and emailing professionals. I learned things like how to start conversations using an elevator pitch, what to include in emails asking for an interview, and how to write a resume and cover letter. Sending an email asking to meet with a professional has now felt a lot easier after her lectures and with the support from my mentor. It's a really practical course, and I really do feel less anxious about the professional world now. And like I mentioned, the other best part about Aggie Jumpstart are the advisors. Like Lily said, you meet them at least two times a quarter, and I wish I went more often. They really do want to help you with anything they can. My advisor was Sonora, and she helped me so much. She helped me with things from academics, my personal life, career exploration, and so much more. I think she honestly has been the person who's helped me get through this pandemic. And actually, I also told her about my doubts on my previous career path, and she's helped me find and connect with others in the field. And like Lynn always says, you need to network, make connections, and just talk to people. You'll hear that a lot from her in the course. I could go on about how much Sonora has helped me, but sadly, I do not have that much time. So just feel free to ask me questions about my relationship with her and the other things that we've talked about. Lastly, I want to say that Davis has a ton of resources, but that's the thing, that there's a lot. And it gets really hard to navigate all of them if you're just by yourself. So Aggie Jumpstart has really helped me in that aspect as well. My mentor helped me discover success coaching advising workshops from CA&ES. I already mentioned how Honora has helped me, but she's also told me about the Center for Animal Welfare and the professors that I can talk to from it. She also, when I was really panicking about housing and renting for the first time, since that's a big deal, she had directed me to the ASUCD house, which helped me so much with finding housing, and they've helped me learn everything that I know about renting now. There's also a Aggie Jumpstart newsletter, which has a bunch of information on all the events that you could go to at Davis. They actually, well, from there I learned about the Undergraduate Research Center, and from that I learned about one of their programs, NSF Camp, and that program has actually helped me obtain a research position that I now currently have. All of my experiences so far have stemmed from being a part of Aggie Jumpstart, so I really don't know how to thank them enough for all they've done for me. That's all I have to say, and I will pass it back to Marinka.
Oh my gosh, my heart, Stephanie. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. So lovely to have you join us. And you're right, there's a lot of things happening at UC Davis, and Aggie Jumpstart is all about helping students make those connections, really demystify the process. It's daunting. College is weird. There's a lot going on. Davis is big, and you are not alone. It feels like a really lonely process to start, I think. Especially as a first-gen student, I felt that way. I went really far away for college. And I didn't have a program like Aggie Jumpstart. And we're here for you. We're all about building those connections. We like to describe it as the Aggie Jumpstart fam. And so let's hear about other student experiences. Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing yours. We're now going to hear from another Aggie Jumpstart student, Sally. Sally Vong, will you please share? And I believe that you should be able to have all of the tech things that you need. Let me know if you have issues with your camera or anything turning on. But
can you guys see me?
Yes.
All right. Hi everyone. So my name is Sally Vong, and I am a first year, and I'm majoring in managerial economics. And my career goal is, as of right now, getting into product management and marketing, and I'm a bit interested in photography. So I guess to give a short brief of my experience, I would say that Aggie Jumpstart is probably the community that I didn't expect to have in my first year of college, because with like all the circumstances in the past year and COVID, I didn't think that I would be that connected to like, I guess, professionals and advisors this year. And I think Aggie Jumpstart was just the perfect thing that I needed to get a right foot off of college. I think I would say that my favorite thing so far is advising with Honora. So I had the same advisor as Stephanie. I think what made advising so significant and important to me, because we had to, like we said, we had to have 2 advising meetings per quarter. And I also wish I had gone to advising meetings more, because I just really liked talking to Honora, because not only was it about academics, it was also about, it could be like, we started off the conversation saying like, oh, how was your day? And it was like more like talking to a friend and catching up, rather than strictly like about school, which I really enjoyed. And I think Honora gave me a lot of confidence when I also doubted some of my decisions, and she'll be very supportive and she'll push me. So I really appreciated Honora for that. I also look forward to CDG discussion, so which is the career discovery group that we had. And I think I built a lot of meaningful connections, because I met a lot of people that I didn't expect to meet in discussion, such as my group. So like group of around like 11 people, which are like my peers and other students we had. I became friends with actually a lot of them, and I recognize them now whenever I go to like an Aggie Jumpstart event. And through CDG, I also went to the Meet the Professionals event, which Lynn was telling you guys about. So I met a lot of professionals, and one thing I wanted to mention is you meet a lot of people that you don't expect to meet, because they like tell you about their professions, but you get to go to like the different types of tables that have like a variety of professionals. So one that stood out to me a lot was they were the founder of Artesian Builds. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that company, but they build PCs and computers, and I thought that was super cool. I would have never expected to find a professional in that area if it wasn't for Aggie Jumpstart. And it's just, you would never know who you would meet, and it's super cool. We're like now connected on LinkedIn, you know, they give you, Aggie Jumpstart gives you like those connections and like builds those bridges for you guys. And I would also like to say that there's also monthly check-ins that I really appreciated. So I didn't attend them much during like fall or winter, but I attended them more during spring. And you meet advisors. So my advisor was Honora, but when I went to these monthly check-ins, I also met up with other advisors, and I also got to meet Marinka and got to talk to her more, get to know her. And I also got to meet other students and other students I already knew that were in my CDG group. And it was just super fun because we'll have a catch up, and then we'll have little like activities that we'll do together. And it's just like Marika said, it's very built on community and having connections. And I think that's the most important part of being a part of Aggie Jumpstart, because I just really didn't expect it in my first year. And part of my first year and how great it was because of Aggie Jumpstart. And I really encourage you guys to join, because it's not something you would regret. And I imagine that it will be way better in person. As a first year, everything's online for me. And hopefully next year there are more in-person opportunities. So I'll get to like meet more people through Aggie Jumpstart and actually meet my advisors in person, which I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to ask, and I'll pass it back to Marinka.
Thank you, Sally. Thanks for the shout out for our monthly check-ins. We did have a lot of laughs. Those were some good games we played. And you're right, community. I did say that. I mean it. Lily means it. Ko, who you'll meet in a little bit, means it. Greg, Honora, Lynn. For us, the Aggie Jumpstart team, we are community, and we really, really want to make you feel welcome. We want to be here with you in your first year and your years after that. And it really takes a village. It takes a whole team. And a part of that, building that connection, if you look at the map of UC Davis, right, it's a big campus. And Aggie Jumpstart is not just in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. We have campus partners all across UC Davis that really help to make that community what it is, to make it bigger, to make it more meaningful, and to enable us to provide to you those connections and bridges to things, maybe experiences you didn't think you would have in your first year, or that you didn't think that you would get connected to so quickly. And so next we're going to hear from a really important individual, part of our Aggie Jumpstart team here, representing our community, a big part of our community in Aggie Jumpstart. Michelle Vazquez, will you please introduce yourself? I'm pretty positive that your camera should be on. Michelle is going to share with you about what community is like with Aggie Jumpstart.
Perfect. Thank you, Marinka. So I'm Michelle Vazquez. I'm the interim executive director for the retention initiatives, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what our strategic retention initiatives are. So across campus, we have 4 retention initiatives and 3 academic success centers. Our retention initiatives are the African American Retention Initiative, the Chicanx Latinx Retention Initiative, the Asian and Pacific Islander Retention Initiative, and the Native American Retention Initiative. So these initiatives' mission is to provide programs and services for underrepresented communities, to assist our communities with being successful academic scholars on campus, and to help students graduate and be successful in their career aspirations and or graduate or professional school. Success means different things to our students and for our communities. So our initiatives work to provide programming which creates a sense of belonging for our students. We work to bridge and connect resources from throughout the campuses, departments, and co-curricular activities. Again, there's so many, like Marinka said, there's so many across campus, and we bridge those resources. The programming we provide, we do it in a holistic way, ultimately working for our students to become academic scholars. We provide space for our students. We have student academic center. So we actually have 3 actual centers on campus. We have CADS, which is our Center for African Diaspora Student Success, our Native American Academic Student Success, and the CA&ES Latinx Academic Student Success, which we call CLASS. We're working on our Asian and Pacific Islander Success Center. So that's in the works, and we hope it will come soon. All these success centers have become a home away from home from our students. We offer study space. You have access to advisors. There's tutoring opportunities, cultural programming, and sometimes it's just hangout space where students hang out and just be who they are, and they come to us who they are. So it's just space for our students. There's always healthy snacks. There's snacks. They're not always healthy, but there are snacks, coffee and tea. And so students have time in between classes. They want to come and hang out in the centers. They have an opportunity to do that. These spaces are specific to our communities, as I talked about the 3 specific communities. You'll find students from your major or other majors. And within that space, you're building a community. And you're ultimately building a support system for your time at Davis, and it really becomes a family. And so Marinka talked about that family. And so this is one piece of your support system and your family. So our initiatives actually partner with College of Ag and Aggie Jumpstart. And if we can go to the next slide, please. So some of the programming that we've done for our cohort at Aggie Jumpstart, we have these community check-ins, or we have these community events. So we have things like Cooking with CADS, where students are coming together and we are providing boxes of food or some food items, and we're actually cooking and sharing a meal. And we actually did this through Zoom. Someone's doing a recipe and they're cooking and they're laughing and they're talking about it, and you guys are in the kitchens together. So it's really become a community. We always like to share a meal. Meals are important. In the Native Center, we have our Wellness Wednesday. Community check-ins are also important, where we have a counselor that's actually embedded in we have counselors embedded in all our centers, but for the Native one, we do every once a Wednesday, we do these wellness checks or these community check-ins. And then we have things like our Waffle Wednesday. We're known at the Native Center for our waffles. So the first Wednesday of the month, we do waffles for anybody. And anybody can use these. Anybody could use these centers. So we want community. We want Aggie Jumpstart students. We tell you, bring your roommates, bring your friends. Again, food is, you'll see all these things are about food. Food is so important in our communities. In the CA&ES Latinx, we have Pan Dulce, where they have, and again, it's getting together and eating and sharing a meal. So these are just some of the activities that we have, check-ins, community check-ins, food, and this is our partnership, the retentions and the Aggie Jumpstart partnership, and you'll see all the pictures located on the thing. So I think in closing with the retention initiatives, I want to reiterate that you don't have to be part of that community to join one of our centers or participate in our centers. We're all one big family, and we're all one community to help support you in your academic success at Davis. So I look forward to meeting you all, and look forward when we are in person in the fall to meet each and every one of you. So thank you. Marinka?
Thank you so much, Michelle. Now I want waffles and pancakes and pan dulce. And soon, very soon, in just a couple months, we will be there. So thank you so much for sharing, Michelle, and just adding so much texture, really important information about community and what that means for Aggie Jumpstart, and what that means for you as future Aggies. We're now going to hear from Destiny, another Aggie Jumpstart student. Destiny was in Aggie Jumpstart in its very, very first year, 2019 to 2020. And now Destiny is going to share her experience with Aggie Jumpstart. Go for it whenever you're ready, Destiny, and your camera should be working. Give me a little shout out if it's not.
Hi everyone, my name is Destiny. I'm a second year and I'm majoring in Wildlife Fish and Conservation Biology, or WFCB for short. In the future, I want to work as a wildlife or exotic vet, or possibly a wildlife rehabilitator. I'm still weighing my options. one thing that I really love about AJS or Aggie Jumpstart is, as everyone said, it's a recurring theme, is the community. You really build a community through the advising with your advisors, but you also build a community through the through the career discovery groups with your mentors, which you can use as references for your jobs, which I found very helpful, because I was like, oh no, what am I going to do for references when I'm applying to jobs and stuff? So I thought that was really helpful. Something that I also really just loved about Aggie Jumpstart is just getting to know everyone. I remember my freshman year, it was a rainy day, and the Native Nest was having the Waffle Wednesday or the waffle event, and I went, and it was just so much fun. It was a good time to pass time between my classes. If I said it was a rainy day, it was a rainy day, so it was nice to get some food in, some warm food, and just get to know people. Everyone there was very welcoming, and it wasn't super intimidating or anything. So it was just a nice low-key event to go to. I remember coming into university, I was like, ooh, a college that I have to stick through the whole year. I don't know if I want to do that, but I'm really grateful that I did. It's a really low-key class, and it helps you just get to know the university better through resources. I know when I was coming in, everyone was telling me all these different resources, and I'm like, I cannot keep track. So the Aggie Jumpstart and the career discovery groups definitely help you figure out your way through them, and can direct you to whichever kind of resources you will need. And they also help you with professionally getting a job. It was always super stressful for me. I never really understood how to build a resume or a cover letter. So I'm really grateful for the career discovery groups for just helping me build the connections and build the resume and get help with it, pointing me in the direction again of which resources I can use for that. And yeah, as the other students have said, building the relationships with the advisors is really nice, because they just show how much they care for you. You know, it's not necessarily a professional sort of setting. You can talk to them about anything. I remember them saying my freshman year, like, they're going to ask you, how are you doing? Have you eaten? Are you taking care of yourself? Because they want to know, they want you to know that they care for you. So yeah, AJS is just a great community. They have all kinds of fun events. I remember one of them where we just kind of got to play games, and I really got to know other people in AJS. So it's a really fun opportunity to take part in. I'm really glad I joined it.
Thank you, Destiny, for that perfect segue. You talked about games, you talked about having fun, you talked about a lot of other really important things too, very real things, community, rain. It doesn't rain a lot here in Davis, but it did that one day. It will again eventually, and there will be waffles. But you talked about having fun and playing games, and who brings that to Aggie Jumpstart? We bring some of it, but our lovely Haas brings a lot of that fun and a lot of those games as their service and leadership coordinator, and the one in Aggie Jumpstart who ensures that you have really engaging and new experiences, ways to apply all of those leadership skills that you are acquiring as university students in CDG and in her workshops to go and do some service. So what do I mean? We talked about the pillars of Aggie Jumpstart. We talked about advising. We talked about CDG and community engagement. Additionally, Aggie Jumpstart is all about preparing you for the now and the future, for your communities now and your communities in the future. And leadership and service is a big part of that. So is now going to take it away to share with you more about what leadership and service looks like, has looked like, and will look like for you as Aggie Jumpstart in 2021-2022. Take it away, Co.
Awesome. Thank you, Marinka. So like Marinka said, my name is Kareen, but I go by Co. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Student Leadership Program Coordinator. I hope you all are super pumped to be students in the fall, because we're super pumped to have you. I feel like I am such a stereotypical leadership coordinator right now, but here we are, folks. So yeah, my whole gig is leadership and service. So what better way to develop your skills, but also have fun with it and get to meet people and laugh and do all of those fun things. My whole motto is, if there is a way to make it fun, then I usually make it fun. Nobody wants to be bored. So I lead leadership workshops. Really, it's just about developing your leadership skills. You're going to be at UC Davis. You're going to be learning a lot of great content in that classroom, but what is that content that you know if you don't have the skills to learn how to work it? So we do a bunch of different workshops looking at your leadership style, communication style, decision making, and I am all about being interactive. And Destiny could talk to you about what was like in person. I know that Sally could definitely talk about what it was like virtually. But we do simulation activities, group conversations. We just did a decision making and problem solving workshop, pretending that y'all were astronauts in space. And I was just, a little like alien floating around observing, but that was a lot of fun. So it's really just about you all putting those skills to practice. I always say, everyone always groans when you say reflection. It's like, oh, reflecting again. But, especially once you get here in the quarter system, it's super fast paced and you don't have a lot of time to take that pause and just think about, like, what am I doing? How am I doing it? What does this tell me about myself and some of those pieces? So you'll definitely get a lot of that in the CDG, the career discovery groups, in a class setting. You'll probably get that in one-on-one with the academic advising workshops, but you will also get it in context of a leadership workshop and kind of discussing with your peers and your classmates and just building those bonds too. So you saw honestly, Marinka is like the queen of making flyers look all fancy. I think honestly, people don't necessarily always come to my workshops because of me, but because it looks so flashy and fun. But I promise I try to deliver great content too. So you see a couple of them that just popped up, but you can also read the previous workshop. So like I said, we've done networking, we've done transferable skills, we do decision making. A lot of what I do is nice, is partnered nicely with what you're doing in the career discovery group too. So some of it is a reminder or precursor. So it goes hand in hand nicely. But in addition to leadership, we also have service. So community service. I think that community service, especially if you are not from the Davis area, and we are, fingers crossed, going to get back to a traditional service model next year. But we did do these one-time quarterly service projects. So you can read a little bit about our previous ones. We've gone to Yolo County Food Bank. We've done some park cleanups. We harvested some tangelos. Honestly, I'm not an ag person. Learned what a tangelo was that day. And this is a great way, especially to get off of the UC Davis campus. We provide transportation, all the information. So you just have to show up and we bring you and you do the work. But a great way to get to know the community around Davis and around you, learn about some of the issues that might be going on in the world and maybe how that might apply to your experiences or your studies or your passions. But also a great way to, once again, get to meet people. I mean, I know the second picture you could see, the top right picture, there's Carmen and Ruby from back last year. Wow, time in the pandemic is just, I'm like 2 years ago, that's not right. But painting a park bench and the amount of conversations and random things that you could talk about and the relationships that you can build while painting a park bench, you'd be surprised. So if you've ever done community service in the past or want to get involved, want to get out there, this is also a really, really great opportunity. But since we weren't able to do in-person community service this year, we allowed Aggie Jumpstart students to also participate in service in their own community and based on their own experiences and what works for them. And I know that a lot of students had really rewarding experiences through that. So we're trying to figure out, I mean, the pandemic, not so great, but I think that we've also learned to be flexible with some of the traditional ways that we've done things. So we're trying to figure out how do we take some of those good things and flexible things we've done in the pandemic and fit that into what our traditional model was. So yeah, and then all of the projects usually loosely have to do with some sort of major within agricultural and environmental sciences. So no matter what your major is, it could be something that aligns right with what you're interested in. You get to learn about a new field. You can figure out how your field or what the project we're doing, even though it's not in the same field, might connect back to your studies. So, and like I said, always a great way to meet people. Usually I have really random stories to share, whether the students want to hear them or not. The ride there, I just usually talk a lot. So that is me. That's leadership and service. Just like the others, if you have any questions about it, please feel free to drop it in the Q&A, and we are so excited to see you in the fall.
Woohoo! Thank you, Co. I'm just so amped up now. Every time you talk, I'm ready for a leadership workshop, ready to go back to whatever planet we went to in that space activity and we survived. Gonna go pick some tangelos. Thank you so much for your service and leadership. And so now you're like, cool, this is really great. You've told us about all of these awesome components of this really amazing new program. How do I get in on this? How do I apply? So you can apply right now, right after this webinar, preferably after, so that you stay and hang out for the Q&A. If you go to our website, you go to the UC Davis College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences website. So you can see the link here at the bottom of your screen. You will click on the icon that you see to the left here. And Greg, I realized this was your turn to talk. I'm sorry, I got excited. You're going to click on the icon that says sign up for Aggie Jumpstart. You click there and you're going to arrive at the application, which you see a screenshot of here to the right. Once you fill that out, we will receive it. We will let you know that we received it. And then we go from there. You have until Monday, July 12th to submit your application. So I know June feels like it just started, but do please submit your application as soon as you can. If you have any questions at all about the application or want to know more than we can get to in this webinar about the program or any of the program components or UC Davis or the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, you can always email us at aggiejumpstart@ucdavis.edu. And did I go like way back? So if you have any questions now, if you have not yet used that Q&A feature, as a reminder that we are jumping now into the questions and answers. In the chat, you will also be able to see just a reminder of all of the names of the presenters here, our Aggie Jumpstart team that was with you today in our webinar. If you want to direct any questions specifically to one of our presenters, you can at them. And we will check out your questions. Let's see. And if you have any new questions coming in, feel free to drop them in the chat. For those maybe who didn't see the questions that have been posted so far, just to let you know, if you are in the University Honors Program, you can apply to Aggie Jumpstart. You can be in both the Honors Program and Aggie Jumpstart. So please feel free to fill out the application online. And we did get some questions about, okay, what's actually expected? What's the commitment look like for Aggie Jumpstart? So let's talk about that. So for Aggie Jumpstart, you just learned about our pillars, all of the things that make Aggie Jumpstart what it is, right? We talked about community engagement and the different ways that we provide opportunities for you to get involved. There are lots of community events that we host specifically for Aggie Jumpstart students, but then we also have partners across campus and we want you, right? So we're really about building those connections for you. We want you to find all of the cool things and all of the ways you can get involved and build relationships that are going to last or really going to be a part of your UC Davis experience. So we like to tell you about other ways to get involved for Aggie Jumpstart participation, so you can attend other community events, as well as those that are hosted by the retention initiatives, as Michelle shared. I also like to promote in the Aggie Jumpstart newsletter other community events, so you will always find out about those opportunities. We ask students to complete a certain number of events every quarter for full participation. And so community engagement events, attending a service engagement opportunity with CO, or if we're still hybrid learning, seeing what it's like, you might do service in your local community, which will be here at Davis, and there's some hybrid online reflection components for that. You're going to attend a leadership workshop with CO, and we also like to provide opportunities for you to attend other leadership opportunities on campus. So in the spring, for example, it might be attending the undergraduate research conference, hearing your peers present their research, or the diversity in STEM conference. So lots of different ways to participate in Aggie Jumpstart. The expectation being that as a full participant in the program, you are enrolled in the career discovery groups classes. You are attending at a minimum 2 advising appointments every quarter with your Aggie Jumpstart advisors. And then you're attending a range of Aggie Jumpstart events that touch on community engagement, service, and leadership through learning. Let's see, any other questions coming in that I missed? Any of our speakers want to add anything? So you're ready to register, ready to apply. Let me see, can I go back?
Marinka, can I add
Yes.
something?
Yes.
So I just forgot that one of my Aggie Jumpstarters this week, I told them that we were doing this webinar today, and or last week, I think it was, the time blends, but she specifically said for me to share with prospective Aggie Jumpstart students that whether or not you're part of this program, but that your university experience is what you make of it. And so, a lot of times when we talk about programs and things to get involved in and stuff, people want to know, well, what's the minimum that I have to do in order to do X, Y, and Z? And I thought it was really good advice from this particular first year student that she said, I'm so glad that I didn't do the minimum. And she was not active the entire year in the program, and she wished that she had actually done more. But she said that she wanted me to share that with everybody, that your experience is going to be what you make of it. And so there was some questions about like, how many times do I have to meet with an advisor? And I just love that our students shared with the fact that, their wonderful experiences with Honora. I feel the same way about my experiences with Honora. I'm like, I wish I would have gone and talked to her more often. But it's going to be what you make of it. I've had students share with me their experiences in going to Waffle Wednesday, and that they, Destiny shared how rainy it was that particular day. It was like that particular day. And so many students were grateful for having been there and having had that shared experience. So it's going to be what you make of it, not just with Aggie Jumpstart, but with your college experience as well. I just wanted to add that, Marinka.
Thank you, Lily, for adding that. And I was just adding in the chat an answer to another question that we got, which related to what is the first event? So like the quarter starts, what does it look like for Aggie Jumpstart? So actually the process will be like this. So the application is going to be due July 12th. You have until then to get your application in to be considered and then invited for Aggie Jumpstart. Once that happens, we will be reviewing applications for the week or so following that. And then we will send out invitations to join eligible applicants to be a part of our Aggie Jumpstart family. As a reminder, like a big requirement, big part of getting the full experience of Aggie Jumpstart is really getting all of the components, right? And so with that is career discovery groups. So towards the end of July, you'll receive an invitation to join Aggie Jumpstart. You'll be required to complete a survey, letting us know which section of career discovery groups you'll be able to fit into your schedule in the fall. And then we will send out official admissions decisions. So you'll have all of that information ready to register for your CDG class at registration time in August. For those who are admitted to Aggie Jumpstart, you will hear about that, like I said, like just towards the end of July. And so the plan is to have a mini kickoff at the end of July for those who have been admitted. It will still be virtual, as that's where we're at right now. But the intention of that will be to get to know each other, at least see each other's faces online, play some games, have fun, just stay in touch and get in the mood, get in the energy for the new year starting in your first quarter at UC Davis. Once the quarter officially starts and we're all back, we're all here together, we will have an official kickoff event, getting together for the first time in the quarter. And while we're still waiting to hear exactly what those details will be, depending on, protocols and recommendations, pandemic and all of that, we're hoping that it would be closer to what we would traditionally do, which of course would involve food, and some games, some get to know you activities, and then a lot more details about the program, including a calendar of when things will be happening, what events. Lily and Honora and our Aggie Jumpstart advisors schedules, so that you can start to be planning your appointments and all that kind of good stuff. And we'll have some Aggie Jumpstart swag. It'll be a good time. More details to come, but that's roughly the timeline. Let's see. Is Aggie Jumpstart competitive, or anyone who applies can get in? How will the selection process be? Great question. Okay, so is it competitive? I would say last year we received about somewhere over 100 applications for Aggie Jumpstart, and we were able to admit 65. We only have 65 spots for Aggie Jumpstart, but 25 are for transfer students and 40 are for freshmen. So applications are still coming in. So in terms of how competitive based on applications, that's just a calculation. I would say there is a lot of interest in Aggie Jumpstart because of what it is, right? This is not only a new program in our college, but it's a very unique program that our college otherwise doesn't have. Students have already in a new program demonstrated just how impactful and how effective it is to have a program that focuses, tailors, it's designed to the first gen student experience, to the first year college experience within our college, with bridging those connections so that students are developing communities, developing those networks of support, having access to a seat saved for them in the career discovery groups classes, having these advising relationships built into their first year, those advising appointments saved for them. These are things that Aggie Jumpstart students have that non-Aggie Jumpstart students don't have guaranteed. As you heard from Sally, Stephanie, and Destiny, right? There's a lot of resources on campus. There's a lot of ways to get connected. There's a lot of ways to find additional support. What Aggie Jumpstart does is do a lot of that finding work for you as a student, because it can feel really daunting. It's a lot of information. And, as a first year student, you're focusing on now adjusting to life, like post-pandemic, whatever that looks like, but also adjusting to the quarter system, adjusting to a campus, maybe riding a bike. I don't know if that was your thing before. That's a thing in Davis. That balance, sleeping, going to class, making friends, joining clubs, getting to know your professors, going to office hours. There's a lot of stuff happening for you as a first year student. And what we do in Aggie Jumpstart is we really just try to ease that pressure, to make it feel like you're not alone, because you're not, and that you don't have to figure it all out. And so with that, is it competitive? Is it hard to get into Aggie Jumpstart? We look for students who can really identify what they want to get out of Aggie Jumpstart. We want to have Aggie Jumpstart be what you need it to be for you. And we want students to be really excited to join this community. We're not collecting your GPA. We're not looking at your high school transcripts or anything like that. We're looking at you as a person and what you want to get out of your first year and how you see Aggie Jumpstart being a part of that for you. Let's see, we have maybe 1 minute. Any other questions that I missed? I don't think so. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of our speakers. Again, if you have any questions that we didn't get to today in the webinar about Aggie Jumpstart, or if you want to start talking, getting to know any of us now, or if you have questions about the application, please email us at aggiejumpstart@ucdavis.edu. And go to our website where you can find the application. Greg went ahead and pasted the link to our website in the chat, so you can go to it right from there. You can also follow us on Instagram at Aggie Jumpstart UCD. It's a new Instagram page. Be patient. We're getting new content, but we're with the times. We're there. When you do get to our webpage, though, it should look like this to the right, so you know you're in the right place. Plus, it says Aggie Jumpstart. We really look forward to reading your applications. We look forward to seeing you in the fall. Even if you decide this sounds really cool, but not for me, still come say hey to us in the College or back. It would be nice to meet you. Have a really great day and congratulations. You're going to college. Coming to Davis. You did it. Good job.